Hey y'all, I am Lucid, and today I want to talk a little bit about how to overcome social anxiety and talk about some social etiquettes that come with playing an MMO. So if this is your first MMO, if you're new to Final Fantasy XIV, or if you just want to make a good first impression, then this video is for you. First off, I just want to say that the Final Fantasy XIV community is one of the nicest and friendliest communities on the internet. Full stop, bar none. If you want an online game to call home, this is it. And to show this, I've invited one of my favorite Final Fantasy XIV content creators to share their thoughts. So let's throw things over to MoodyMoomba.
Hello, my name is Sarah. I am MoodyMoomba on Twitch and social media, and I play a lot of Final Fantasy XIV. I've been playing for about 4 years now. I'm on Aether, Gilgamesh, and my character's name is Cimmerine Kensley. My community and I focus a lot on the story. I love crafting and decorating, and we do a lot of dungeons, raids, and a lot of group events, and with that comes a lot of socializing. I know it can be kind of intimidating to jump into a new game, especially an MMO with all of the social aspects, and so I wanted to give you some tips and tricks I've learned along the way. One of the biggest things for me at the beginning was dungeons. I was so nervous to jump into dungeons. I started healing. I started the game by healing, and I had never healed in an MMO before, and I was so nervous. I was shaking in my boots to run my first dungeons, and I just felt like I was going to mess up, and everybody was going to judge me, and I got some really good advice at first. Number one being that this community is so warm and welcoming and supportive, and that has proven so true in all the years since, and I'm so grateful for it. But one of the pieces of advice that I was given is when you get into a party, say hi. Whether you do the little hello emoji or you just say hey, it can be really helpful to introduce yourself to the group and kind of break the ice and, make everybody feel like they're on the same team. And it opens communication right from the get-go, so that if somebody does make a mistake or like a mechanic gets messed up, someone can say, hey, here's how that mechanic works, and everybody's, already friendly with each other, so it's really more of a collaboration, and it just makes everybody feel, hopefully, very comfortable. Along with that, I always recommend, if you're new, whether you're new to the game or you're new to the class that you're playing, say so. Say, hey, I'm new, or hey, first time, or however you want to say it. It can be really, really helpful for the group to know. They'll see a little sproutling by your name, and that will help them know as well. But for you to sort of say, like, hey, I'm new, especially if you've been playing the game for a while, but you're on a new class, it just lets everybody know, like, hey, maybe we need to explain mechanics. Let's go a little bit more slow so everybody's for sure comfortable. And it's just a really good way to make sure that you're having a good stress-free run. They're going to be stress-free anyway, for the most part. I mean, there's some dungeons that can be a little stressful and things like that, but really only in the way that it's like, oh, this mechanic's a little spicy. You never want to be stressed because, the group is getting a little bit intense. And I personally can't think of a time in recent history that I've had that experience. And I've, again, been playing for 4 years. So again, the community is incredible. Everybody's really amazing and so happy to educate. There have been so many times that I've messed up mechanics, and I know that it can be really stressful to be like, oh, I'm going to mess up this mechanic, or I don't know what I'm doing. Don't worry. We have all been there. Most of us don't know what we're doing, and if we do, people are really, really kind about it, and usually 99.99999% of the time, really happy to say, oh, hey, here's how that works, and, make it so you have a really good rest to your run, and then when you do it next time, you will be the pro yourself. So that's my biggest piece of advice. Another thing is the community finder, which was kind of a more recent addition. If you press O, that's your social menu, and go to the top right hand corner, there's a little blue button, and you can click that. It will take you to a website where you can find in-game link shells, free companies. Free companies are basically like guilds. Other MMOs would call free companies that. It's a good way to find a group that you want to hang with on the regular, people to run dungeons with, kind of build your little family in game. That's a really, really great way to have that. And anybody on Gilgamesh, of course, is welcome to join our free company. One of the biggest ways I would say to find a free company, it can be tricky to take some time to find one that you really gel with, just like any group, just like finding any group that you gel with, it can take a little bit of time, but it is so worth it. 2 other ways that I would say, of course, if you have any IRL friends that are playing, joining their free company can be a really great, easy way to jump in there and start doing all of that immediately. Another thing would be browse Twitch, find a streamer or a streamer's community that you really gel with very well, see if their free company is accepting people. A lot of them are. Free companies can be huge, and usually, I mean, free companies are recruiting people all the time to just have more people to play with, so that can be a really good thing to do too. And the last piece of advice I would give would be use emotes. I love the emotes because number one, they're adorable, but number two, they can be a really good way to engage socially without having to like necessarily type anything, which I know it's a simple thing to just like type to somebody, but for me, at least in the beginning, I was really nervous about like speaking to other people in game. I was like, oh, I'm going to say something wrong or weird, or like there's going to be some sort of party foul and I'm going to be really embarrassed, which I have very much gotten over since, but it can be intimidating to jump into a new game in a community that you might not necessarily feel like you're part of yet. And emotes can be a really good way to engage with the party or the situation, whatever you're doing, can kind of indicate to someone that like, hey, I'm being friendly and I want to engage with you. And then that can be a good way to make everybody feel comfortable. There's a bunch of emotes that you will get just naturally through playing the game. There's also a bunch more that you can look at on the Mog Station or the store, but you will have more than enough in the game to interact with people, more than you would ever possibly need. It's a really great aspect of the game and I love it a lot, and it's just a really fun, cute way to engage with people where you don't even have to say anything. You can just let someone know like, hey, I've got your back, and vice versa. So really, this is a beautiful game, such an incredible community. I would say first and foremost, just know that the community has your back. We've got you. Everybody wants everyone else to have a grand adventure, and I wish you the grandest adventures ever. I hope that you love Eorzea, and if you see me around, please do come say hi.
Huge shout out to Moody for being part of this project. All of her links are down in the description below, and I highly recommend going to check out her content. Next up are a few more quick tips on etiquette in Final Fantasy XIV, so here we go. First one up for you is when you are in instances with cutscenes, make sure to look at your party list to see when everyone has actually finished watching or skipping the cutscene. Don't start a boss fight or move on until everyone is ready. Number two is when you are tanking, talk to your healer. Ask them if they want big pulls or small pulls. That way you're on the same page about the pace of the dungeon. Number three is if you are an experienced player in the game, remember to be patient with new players. We were all there at one point, and being nice to somebody is free. The last tip is to remember to pay it forward. If you encounter a player who is nice to you, be it someone explaining a mechanic or a player crafting you gear for free, keep it in mind going forward and help out someone else. This is one of the big things that I've seen in the game that really makes this community a joy to be a part of. And y'all, if you have any more social tips, leave them in the comments down below. Huge thank you to Moody once again for being a part of this project. It's super cool to be working with you. And also, y'all, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. Or if you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe. I also stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, starting at 5 o'clock Central. Again, Moody's links and my links are in the description below. Drop by and say hi whenever you like. But last but not least, y'all, always remember that you matter. I'll see you in the next one.